Well, hello again. Doesn't this look like a shot from Dave's World of Fun Stuff? It's not meant to be, it's just I'm trying to find the right setup for you. There's nobody like Dave. Dave is unique. Dave is the master. Dave is the bass guitar man, as well as every other kind of man. I have here a Rockwood made by Hohner. And it is a nice bass guitar. Let me try not to break the window. Oh, put on the light, Austin. Right, here we go again. Try that again. Yeah, it's a lovely piece of wood for the neck. Can you see that? Beautiful. And there's not an awful lot wrong with this guitar. Oh, for goodness sake. Except for it needs everything done to it. So I thought we'd do it like this, because overhead seems a bit too far away, I think. So I've got a this is the original, and this is a jar full of junk that came off it. It had only one switch on it. That one was off it. That was a mess. This is yellow. I don't like yellow. So what I'm doing, I've cleaned that up a bit, by the way. See, I just get on with it. I forget about you guys wanting to see things. I must show you this again up at the top, this head. Look at that piece of wood just at the top there. Look at the curl in it. Beautiful. And the neck, I have checked it already. I shouldn't forget about you guys. But the neck is perfectly straight. Perfectly straight. And I think some people like these guitars. Not even a fly's penis in this one. But I'm doing something, an experiment. Let me bring it over to you. Because I don't like the plastic being yellow, there's two ways to do it. You can put it in peroxide. The peroxide. I'm going to wash my hands as soon as I do this. Let me just make sure it's in focus and you can see. Or you can put it in bleach. Now I've tried one of each. Now the bleach is definitely winning. Can you see there? The bleach has gone a little bit white, but the bleach is definitely winning. But I thought the peroxide might be safer. But damned with safety. I want a nice white thing. So that's only been in an hour. No, 30 minutes. So I got a feeling that's going to be nice. But so when that's finished, I'm going to do the same with this and make it nice and white. And I've got a pocket full of switches. Oh, are they all? Oh, look at that. They're nicely wired as well. Oh, that's I don't even have to wire them. And it doesn't have a nut. So it's got a very thin nut at the end. And I'm going to have to manufacture one. I've got them. The gentleman gave me a blank. The blank's just too big for this. It's actually quite a small nut. So overall, I'm going to look forward to seeing what this is going to look like and sound like when it's finished. Because it's got a nice overall feel to it. Can you see that? I can't see what you see because I'm blind as a bat. So that could do with being re-chromed, but I ain't gonna spend that kind of money. So I'm looking for other ways to fix chrome, because you can spray it. I know you can spray it and all that sort of thing, but it's never shiny. So I'm gonna study ways to fix that. But anyway, that's where we are with this one. That's the beginning, and it's going to be 24 hours at least before. I actually think I'm going to throw out the peroxide one and just put bleach in both of them. Right, we're back on the Rockwood Hohner. Rockwood by Hohner. Rockwood Bass by Hohner. I sanded a little bit there. I'm going to fill it in and sand it. It's just a little bit of a crack in the wood. I cleaned up the bridge and I've just put some bridge. Well, the string holder at the back bridge area. It was rusted, so I used a wire brush on it and cleaned it up. And then I put some of that white crust thing on it, just to stop this from rusting in future. There's not much more you can do to that. You know, that crust will stop it rusting for a short period of time. My bin's over there, so I have to walk away from you every time. So I've also bleached the board. It seems to look better. I can't quite tell because I've been looking at it so much over the last few days. but you can see the they're pretty good too. I think they're not what you call you know, Donny Osmond teeth white, but they're pretty white and a lot better than they were. So now I'm going to look at just sticking on the switches onto this, and then I'll do the soldering. But I haven't even tried these switches on this yet, so I'm going to do that now. They're all pre-wired. Now, they're a bit confused. Just why are they like that there? Well, I suppose it doesn't matter too much. I'll bring that up there. Bring that up there, and that one there. Right, okay, that's the right way to do it. Okay, so that will go on. We don't have actually any switch knobs for them, so I'll see if I can find some knobs, which there's only one knob. That's me. There's only one knob. There's only one knob, and if I want to keep it original, I'd have to find another knob like it. But it's a steel knob, and it's got. I'll show you in a second once I put this on. I must look up the value of this guitar, this little bass guitar, because it feels quite good. It feels quite good quality. So I don't know whether it's what people would call a good quality bass, but it certainly has all the things on it that you'd want, you know, good neck and everything. So I'm just going to loosely put them on. The idea of putting the jack socket on the thing's good if you've got it good and strong, because these things can snap. So that's the earth wire going to the, and there's already got one there. So we'll pickups and thing. So that'll sit there, and I'll just switch you off. Will I switch you off? Will I turn you off? Yes, I will. Okay. Well, that is quite surprising. I looked up the price of these basses, and they're selling them for 50 quid and 60 quid. I am quite surprised. I thought they'd be better priced than that, because it seems very good. Maybe I'm just out of touch or something, but they do seem to be better than a 50 quid guitar. All right, okay. But I suppose it all depends on the sound. Does it? A lot of people buy on looks, but Hohner are not known to be the most expensive thing. I've got several Hohners here, and they're all sort of nice, you know, but they're not what you call the most expensive guitars in the world. Okay, but I was quite surprised that that's the knob I was telling you about. I've only got one of them. You can get ones looking like that, and those are the old. But I suppose what I'm going to have to do, I'm going to have to do it off camera, is I'm going to have to clean these things, and they have a little touch of glue that holds the pickups on, so I'm going to put a little touch of glue back on them just to keep them in the style. But they've also got, if you notice there, they've connected one of the pickups together, and they've wrapped the wire and put a little bit of solder on it, so that's going to be an interesting. Well, I suppose that's the way they have to be wired, but you'd think they'd have something a bit better than that. There's nothing. Well, maybe they did and it's gone off. Maybe it's peeled off in time. But they will go on. That goes on there, but I need a little bit of glue, so I'm going to put a little bit of just PVA. I think nothing exciting. I'm not going to. Do I want to put a little bit drop of super glue? Yeah, I might just put a little drop of super glue to have an instant sort of. All right. Okay. Goodbye. Goodbye. I had a disaster last night with super glue. It'll be on another video, but because the super glue knobs all go seized, I just use a pair of pliers and cut off the top of the seized knob, and then I just use a toothpick to put it on where I want to go. But yesterday I had the thing open and I had it in my hand and I turned the guitar over. For some reason I forgot it was open and it spilt all over my hand and all over the guitar. And you can see I still got remnants of the super glue all over my hand. It was such a stupid thing to do. But anyway, that's on another video, another time. So what I'm just going to do is put a little drop there, little drop there, a little drop there, and there. Why do I have to say that I'm putting a drop there, there, and there? Can you not just see that I'm putting a drop there, there, and there, Austin? You're wasting your breath. Stop stating the obvious. Look, I'm closing the super glue with a pair of pliers. I don't have to say that. Why did I just say that? I just think I get used to talking when I'm... Oh, come on. So much super glue is thrown away because those nozzles get damaged and chucked. But I'm not throwing it away because I'm cheap. Right, so this just goes on top of that and presses in. And hopefully that will be the last anybody sees of that for a long time. And that goes on that. I've already checked to make sure they're on the right ones. So that ends on that. And I'm going to let them sit for a few minutes. I'm going to get the soldering iron out and put a shrink on that. Well, there you are. I changed my mind again. Nearly said something sexist there about changing minds. Right. I changed my mind because I'm going to solder everything all at once. But this is quite a... I can understand almost why it's considered a cheapy guitar, because it's got some shortcuts like wood screws that adjust the height of the pickups. It's not a big deal. It works, but it screws into the bottom of the guitar. The springs are very strong actually on it, so it does the job. But if you were to fiddle with it too much, you'd end up having to fill in the holes at the bottom. Again, that's not a big job either, but it's just maybe it's a nice little shortcut. I don't know. Right, come on in, get into the hole there. Right, okay. So I changed my mind again about what I was going to do. Right, so I put this on and I'm going to solder that after, when I'm doing all the rest of the soldering. All right, goodbye. Cheap and cheerful, that's me. I'm working on the nut for this bass guitar. The nut area, right? And I saw some fluff in it. So I started scraping the fluff away to see what was happening. And I found this here sticking to the bottom of it. It's double-sided, or should I say single-sided tape. And what they did is that where's that bit of wood? They had put a shim in because the angle of the nut is all over the place, and then they stuck a bit of tape over the top of it. This is done at the factory, right? So what we have is, when somebody was cutting that slot, they made a mess of that slot and cut it all over the place, right? And so instead of fixing it by putting a nut in that fitted the groove, they just stuck in a shim, which would affect the sound. So what I'm going to do, rather than cut the neck anymore or cut the shim down, I'm going to shape the nut to suit it. I'm going to make the bottom of this thing fit closely to the nut, and it's an extra, because you can see, look, if you can see that, let me just show you, right, okay. If you can see that, if I show you it, it rocks back and forth. and so it's got a bulge in the middle. So I'm going to shape the nut rather than cut the neck again. The easiest thing would be to cut the neck, but I think that I just don't like cutting the neck of any guitar. Although you've seen me do it many times, but I don't like doing it. All right, cheers. Right, that's the blank nut in position, nice and firm and not rocking anymore. Now, what I like to do, I like to put the strings on. After I've wired this together, I like to put the strings on and then shape the nut and bring the strings down to the height that the guitar will take, and not do it off the guitar. I like it on the guitar. All right, so later. So all I'm going to do now is just undo those wires, a little bit of tissue paper beneath them to save any drops. They've been twisted together before they've been done. Come on, come apart. Are you going to come apart or what? Right. I thought I could just pull you apart, but nothing. You've been twisted together first, haven't you? Yes, you have. Right, okay. So, I'm going to put a little bit of you on. Do I have to snip you first too? And I'll put you over the bit. Over that. Okay. And I'm going to try to get you as neat as possible together. You need 3 hands for soldering. Soldering is not something that I love doing, but let's just see. A bit of solder on the tip. Shaky hand. Why is my hand always shaky when I want to do this here? Look at that. You'd think I'd done that before, wouldn't you? Right, okay. Let it get cool a bit. I've done it before where I did it hot and this thing wouldn't slip over the top of it. It's melted to it. Alright, what are you? You're a lump. Come away, lump. Lump. Alright, okay, there you go. And then just use a soldering iron to shrink it into the cable so that it's tight to it. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. Oh, that's it. I even went to all the trouble of having red. Matching the red of the red of the red. So, right, okay. So, there you go. That's you sealed. Now, next bit is to wire up the machine, and I'll come back to you. Oh, red light's flashing, which means I have no battery left. Luckily, I bought 3 batteries for this camera because one of my hobbies. Well, I was a professional photographer for many years. I think I said that before, but one of my hobbies is photography as well. And so that's that tucked away. Now I'm going to solder this. So hopefully you saw some of that. No, you didn't. You didn't see any of that. For feck's sake. You didn't see any of that. For feck's sake. I'm just telling everybody how bad my day went. And I soldered this wire on as a test, and I soldered this wire on, and it worked. And what do you bloody think? The camera wasn't pointed at the right direction. So this morning it was just like somebody is telling me, stop doing this, Austin, because I couldn't get anything right. So anyway, right, I'm back again. The pickups are wired as one unit. This is just an earth wire, which probably will just go to the earth wire here. So it's working. Let me just make sure. Good solid pickups. Yeah, tone's changing. Yeah. Volume's working. Very loud pickups. Right, okay. So that's the earth to the... I'm going to take that out. God, I could curse. And I don't curse as a rule, generally. But I tell you, I could curse this morning. It was one of those days. It was just one of those days. Somebody was telling me, stop working on guitars. That's what they were telling me. Tried to fix an acoustic. Then I found another little problem with it. Tried to fix an acoustic cover, and it started to have a little problem with it. So, and it was just took hours just to put, and I put the cover on, and the cover worked fine, and then I bought these brass screws to put the cover on with, and they just snapped so easily. And then it snapped in the wood of the neck, and I had to dig that out. Oh. Are you tired of me gurning now? You tired? I'm not gurning anymore, promise. I'm going to have my lunch now and put this little thing together here. I don't know why I'm shielding. Of course, I don't want it to touch the lives, but shielding the green. Right, okay. I love these shrink wraps. Love the smell of them too. I'm a glue sniffer. Right, okay. How much are you recording? You better be recording. You are. Right, okay. Right, that's it all nice and tight. Right, okay. So that's it wired. Now I have to shove it all in and close it up. Check that the switches aren't being jammed by anything at the side. And then tighten the switches. Make sure those switches that are new will fit, because the other switches were quite skinny. And wouldn't you know, they don't fit. So now I have, well, let me just see how tight they are, because I didn't overly tighten them. Yeah, well, I tightened them enough. I'll have to turn that one around to see if it'll get it to fit. So I'm going to stop for a second and then get my tools and then come back to you again. Right, that is fine. That is fine. Right, I'm going to stick some screws in this now. I'm going to test it all first because it's a tight fit, because those switches are fatter. If you look at the old switches, you'll see that they were skinny little switches, little skinny things, and those are fat. So I'm going to unplug this soldering iron. I'm just going to make sure that it's fitting in properly without pressing too hard. Don't like it. Something's not right. I don't like it. I'm just showing you all the fiddliness, because that's what this is all about, getting these fiddly things sorted out. Ah, that's better. That's, oh, everything just fits in nice now. That's perfect. Right, I'll put a screw in or two. I don't have the knobs for it, the proper knobs for it, but I might be able to fit some weird knobs onto it. But the owner's ordered some new knobs, and when he gets it back, he'll probably put the knobs on himself. So, right, okay. Come back to you when I go to put the strings on. Just checking they're all tight. Actually, they're not. They're a little bit loose, all of them. So just tighten that up. Now, just check the wood screws are tight too. Can cause a rattle sometimes if one or two are loose and rattling against the sides. A couple were not just as tight as they could be there, but nothing exciting. That one's a little bit loose. They look like decent tuners, you know. That's loose. But it's like everything else, you know. Willie Nelson's guitar, if you saw it in the shop, you wouldn't give it 30 cents for it. But if you like it, if you like the guitar and it gives you the sound you want, then what's wrong with it? It's the best guitar you could have if it's perfect for you. Right, there we go. Let's just let it run while I put the string. Oh, I'm going to be putting on these first because they've been soaking in oil for a day or two. So, not that there's anything exciting to see, but there they are there. Right. Right, all the strings are in the right place. Let's get the strings on. Right, where are the strings? What have I done with the strings? I put them in the string drawer. I bought 30 sets of strings now. I've got far too many strings, but you tend to run out of them. And right, these are actually skinny fat strings. Who are they made by? Let's just see. You don't know who they are. Do you know who they are? KY, bass strings. Mean anything to you? Doesn't mean anything to me. And maybe my mate who's a professional singer, and he is the bass guitar in his band. I'll get him, if I can get this all up and running for him, he's coming later on today. I'll get him to play on it and see what it's like. Maybe I'll even get him to record a little bit. Ooh, that would be an interesting idea, wouldn't it? Yeah, you're all excited about that now, aren't you? Aren't you? You're all excited about that now, aren't you? Aren't you? Aren't you? No, you're not? Well, okay. Have I put the right one I have here? So, is this the start of my day improving? Is it? Is it like... So, with this guitar, all I have to do is polish that. I forget what's on the back of it now. That many guitars go past my eyes. And let me look at the other side. No, nothing to do on that side. So this guitar just needs to be tuned up and the nut shaped and set at the right level. And that's the big fat one. See how technical I am? The E string on a bass is the big fat one. Right, okay. This is the... So, I'm just letting the camera run. I'm on my Canon camera because I get so tired of... I remember I tried different cameras and I even bought an iPhone to do it. Have I put that in the wrong bloody place? Have I? Yes, I have. Egypt. Nornan, you're in Egypt. Yeah. One of the phrases in Northern Ireland. If somebody's upset with you, they'll say, "Pick a window, you're leaving." And for the more refined people, that would be, "Pick a window, you're leaving." In other words, they're going to throw you through the window. The joys of Northern Ireland accent. Northern Ireland, like Northern love. Northern Ireland. Right, I'm not going to keep this on the camera while I string up the top. Or will I? Now that I'm on a roll, maybe I should just let it run. And bring this camera up to this end. And bring the thingy up to this end. And zoom out a bit. And I definitely need to sort out this camera because it's up against my shelves and it's a pain in the butt. Let me just see what I got here. Right. Where do I go? Can I bring you there? No, I can't bring you there. How does Dave do it in Dave's World of Fun Stuff? Hey? Now, you see all the junk behind me there. Well, it's not too bad, I suppose. Now, why are you not in tune? Get in tune there. Look, it's out of focus. Come on. You're actually behaving very badly now, and I don't like it. So behave yourself. No, you're not going to behave. So this now will give me where I need to be with the strings. Obviously that one's going to have to be held on. So there's nice evenness up the top. One of the things, because they're so fat at the end, you don't leave enough at the end. So okay, the next thing to do is to switch you off and plug it in, get the nut done. I don't know, do you want to watch that? Bass guitar? Yeah, you do. Okay, I'll switch it back on later. Right, I'm back with a full battery and it doesn't tell me how much time is left from recording. Very nice. So what I'm going to do is just mark it where I want it to be. I'm going to mark it with a file where I want it to be. Let me just, there it is there. I don't want it to be too close to the edge, so I'm going to force it to come in a bit, right? This is a genuine bone, nut, and it's now perfectly fitted to the base, the body of the neck. And when I get this to the right height that I want, or close to the right height, because I'm not going to go crazy with the height on this guitar, I'm going to keep it sort of just a little bit higher than I normally would. I'd like us to settle in. How's the flexi focus doing? Right, okay, so when I've done all this, then I got the heights I want, then I'll smooth the top and shape the edges of everything. Obviously these are too deep in. Now, let me just look at that E string to see where I am. Could come just a fraction more. Okay, now let me just look at that. I think that would be, oh, there's a little mark there where I need it. The bass guitar has done the job for me. Where is that? There it is there. Right, okay. Okay, I'm going to loosen you off a bit. No, it's not the right one. You can see I'm angling it. Okay, that's quite a bit of a chunk to take away. I just stabbed myself! Blood on the camera! Third time today. That's telling me to stop. Right. Now somebody wants me. Obviously I'm being told to stop. Bloody hell. Anyway, back again tomorrow. Taking a break to make it look okay. Just going to tune this. Alright. Hello, can you see me? Hello, hello. just see. Right, okay. I just switch you off and I'll come back to you in a second. Back again. I had that on the wrong way round because I didn't have my proper glasses on. I couldn't see where the Allen key holes were. I love it. I love it. I wish I could play something for you, but I'll let Chris do that honor at the end of the video. I'm going to just polish it up, clean it up, maybe stick some temporary knobs on it just to take the bad look. Oh, right, not finished yet. Bring these up. The interesting thing about it is that I can't bring these up too high because these are screwed into the wood, and you screw them in out too much and it lifts out of the wood. So they're nice loud pickups. My volume's very low because I don't want to blow the speakers. So I'm going to file down the nut to where I want it, then take the strings off, polish the frets, take a little bit of the frets away here with a little fret leveling because I know it's slightly high there, and then oil the frets. So I'll well, let's just do it. Let's just get on with it. But that has helped a tiny, tiny bit. And then it's my favorite. Yeah, you know what my favorite is. Now, take you down from the camera and let you see if I can. That's okay. Now, that's the frets. Are you going to get into focus? Get into focus. Thank you. That's it there. And if you see the frets, if you can see from there, get into focus, mate. Get into focus. God, I hate. You can see this. You can see the strings are sitting half and half. Half the strings above and half the strings in the nut. So I don't think I like this flexi focus thing, but it's doing an okay job. So now it's just to polish it up and tidy it up and come back to you. Okay, there you are. It's a Rockwood bass guitar, all nice and clean and shiny, and a beautiful neck on it. Love the neck on it. And the action is super, and I'm very pleased with the action. You can see, let's just see if I can let you see the action. I don't think you can, but it's very good the whole way down. But overall, here's Chris playing it. Before it was completely set up, but he's done a great job. So, goodbye guitar.